really though, barbers, we were never that, bro. Like you're a community person. Like you get to know people in the community. Like my favorite thing about my job is I have customers that like used to have trimmed from like school days. Now they're like married with a kid, or like they're finished uni and they're getting jobs. And do you know what I mean? Like you grow with people, you get to know people. Like people should feel safe, like to come into the shop. You know, like you want to make people feel good about themselves when they come in here. Like it's like it's bigger than just like a business, you know what I'm saying? And I guess...
Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Nat Bury, better known as That Barber Nat. He's one of London's most in-demand barbers. Thanks for joining us, Nat.
Oh, thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Great. So to get us started, can you tell us a bit more about why you ended up in hair of all industries and why barbering specifically?
Well, it's funny. It was sort of an accident, but like a great one. When I left school, I was on job seekers allowance because I took a year out before I went uni. And then I was just on job seekers allowance, like bumming around. And then basically to keep the job seekers after 13 weeks, you have to start doing like job interviews or like applying for courses. So I applied for like a couple cat jobs that I knew I wasn't going to get. And then I signed up. I went to this open day for like this barbering class, like MVQ at Kingston Chelsea College. And yeah, it was a lady called Nuncia Miola. She literally just gassed me up and made it sound sick. So I was like, all right, let me do it. And then I did that. I met the boss of Mo Better Cuts where I work now, and one of the other barbers, Rowan. Obviously, the shop's been open since the 90s, but he was retraining to use scissors. So then I met him, kind of got to know the shop through that, was like, wow, this barber thing is sick. And then it was kind of just like my part-time job when I went uni, basically. So I just used to cut hair out my crib and stuff. And then I got a little job in a barbershop. But then I did a year exchange in America for uni. And then over there, I was just cutting hair out in my living room, basically. Because like a little side job or whatever, because you can't really work on a student visa unless you work for the uni, but they don't pay you good dough. So I was kind of just doing a little side thing. I don't know if I should have said that, but fuck it. But yeah, basically after like a few months, I was just living off the money that I was making from cutting hair, got to know bare people. And I was like, wow, like this is sick. Like I love this. Like I love the job. I love meeting people. Like I'm quite social. Like I used to want to be an illustrator, but a lot of it is just being in the house. And then I did English lit at uni, but it's like being in the house just like on a laptop, which don't really work for me. I like chatting to people and stuff. So then after that, I was just like, yeah, this hair thing's sick. So then boom, I finished off my last year of uni, but then I was just working in the shop the whole time. Maybe like 4 days a week doing uni round it. And then when I finished uni, I just went straight into it basically, and then just been doing it since then.
Oh, wow. And when you, obviously it appealed to you, when you just started, did you just take to it quite well in terms of actually being able to barber? Was that process for you quite seamless?
Oh no, it's fucking hard, man. Sorry, am I allowed to swear?
You can swear.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, it's fucking hard, man. Like it's like there's such a learning curve, man. Like I was so shit at the start. Like my first ever day on the job, I got, because I worked at this barbers in Kentish. Like when I come back for summer from uni, and it was like the boss was like, "Oh, I can't afford a trainee, so just tell everyone you can do everything, and you'll get good fast." And then I had to shave this bro's head. He wanted like a wet shave on his head with like a razor blade. I hacked him up, bro, and he's gonna beat me up. And like one of the other barbers had to like step in. Like it was mad. So it was like a bit of a learning curve, but that's what I like about it. It's like, I don't know, because it was hard, I feel like it's my thing, like I've earned it. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So it's like almost like baptism by fire, basically.
Yeah, something like that.
This is good to know. And so over the years, you said it's a difficult craft to kind of get skilled at. What are some of the most important things you've learned as a barber?
Oh, it's first thing, what I clocked is just cutting hair good. That's like the basic requirement. Like you just got to learn to cut hair good first, and that's like your baseline. And then after that, then I feel like the whole career side of it starts, which is like watching your manner, how you deal with people, business skills, getting to know people in the community. Like there's so much other things to being like a good barber. But the first thing is just making sure you cut hair good, and you always have to maintain that. and then you
Okay.
start worrying about everything else, innit?
Okay. And did you go? I know you said you were training at Mo the Barbers. Did you go on any formal training in that process, or was it all just like kind of on the job by other barbers? There was no like specific school you ended up going to or having to
Oh no!
go to.
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
I cut you off. My bad.
that's good. You go.
I got a I've got a thing. I always jump in. I'm sorry. I'll try and watch it in it. I just always start talking. I just get there gassed. No, no. I did an MVQ level 2 at Kensington
Okay.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Met the boss of Mo Betters, but I didn't work here for years.
Okay.
Because it was like I used to come get my hair cut here when I was come down from
Okay.
uni and stuff, but it was kind of just like on a friendly thing. I didn't feel I was good enough to work here, so I got a job in Diamond Barbers in Kentish Town. That was my first one. Then I worked in Susu Barbers in Edinburgh. Then I worked in another barbershop. I can't remember the name now. I think North Pole Cuts. No, not North
Okay.
Pole. Sorry, that's down the road. I can't remember the name of the barbershop, but there was another barbershop in Edinburgh I worked in. And then I worked in the Doghouse Barbers in Birmingham. And then I come back to Mo Better Cuts when I was like 25.
Oh,
And I've
wow.
been working
Okay.
here since then, basically.
Okay. And
But
so,
everything. Oh, sorry. I did the MVQ and then everything else I learned on the job, kind of thing.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in terms of barbering, what do people get wrong about barbering? Are there any misconceptions that you think folks may have of the craft or of the industry?
Well, I just feel like these days it's like this whole like not that there's anything wrong with hustle culture, but I just feel like the whole barbering game, like because of the Instagram thing, it's all just about hustle culture. Like, yeah, I'm a barber, I'm a business executive. I like, you too can make 100 grand if your haircuts. Like obviously making money is sick. Like I'm very happy for people, but it's like really though, like fuck all that to a certain extent because it's like you're community worker, bruv, innit? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I just feel for me, it's like people kind of forgot like the other side of barbering isn't promoted so much. Like people all talking about like, oh, I don't let my clients take the piss with me. Like, yeah, cancellation fee if you don't shop. But really though, barbers, we were never that, bro. Like you're a community person. Like you
Mm-hmm.
get to know people in the community. Like my favorite thing about my job is I have customers that like youths that I've trimmed from like school days. Now they're like married with a kid or like they're finished uni and they're getting jobs. And do you know what I mean? Like you grow with people, you get to know people. Like people should feel safe, like to come into the shop, like you want to make people feel good about themselves when they come in here. Like it's like it's bigger than just like a business, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I guess it bothers me is that like not that it bothers me, but it's like I feel like that side of the narrative is not like promoted so much and so much like the business hustle. Yeah, I'm on my grind, like cutting hair is my art. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
cool and shit. You know what I mean? But like, what's your character saying, fam? You know what I mean?
And it's funny you say that because I definitely think it's a thing because of social media. So I've also spoken to a lot of women who do other styles, specifically for Black women. And it's definitely something that's a conversation right now of like, hair salons used to be this safe space, right? Where you knew people and they went on that journey with you. And actually now, to your point, there's like crazy rules or, that environment it's not so much about that. So it's interesting to hear that from like the barbering side too.
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, I get it. This is the thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like them adjustments, like to make it more like salon. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You make more. It makes it more profitable for your pockets, right?
Yeah.
But I guess it's just not how I was trained. And I guess you
Yeah.
got to look as like, do you want to cream dough now, or do you want to build something that lasts? Because like the shop, like the boss of the shop here, Trotters from Mo Better Cuts, he's taught me so many important lessons because it's just like the Bears had a shop open in Grove since 1996,
It's
right?
crazy. That's
Wild,
like,
right? Do you know what
that's
I'm saying?
wild.
But it's because the guy makes decisions that aren't necessarily good for his pockets, but are like good for the shop and good for the business, and
Mm-hmm.
like people respect him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people respect the shop and what he's trying to do here. So for me, I don't know. That was always sort of like my um
Benchmark.
yeah. So like, it's probably why I'm not super rich, but like I don't know. I just feel like you shouldn't try squeeze too much out of the business. You got to give back as well. If you want to, like, do you want to make money or do you want to build something important for the
Mm-hmm.
community that everyone can benefit from long term? You know?
I love that. Switching gears a bit, I know you do all types of hair,
Mm-hmm.
um, but also specifically, if folks go on your Instagram, they'll see a lot of folks with guys with textured hair. And now textured hair is getting a lot of attention. For you as someone that can cater to all types of hair, but also probably maybe has felt pigeonholed. What's that experience been like for you? Like, has there been any barriers in terms of being an expert with textured hair when you're trying to grow your client base or like your opportunities?
I mean, in the shop, like in the shop side of things, it's never really been a problem because it's like, I don't
People come
know.
in.
Yeah, like obviously where I work, it's like a black shop, so I kind of introduced the other side of things where we like got the men in to get hair dryers. Do you know what I mean? Doing scissor cuts, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one had a hair dryer before I started working here. Like, what's the thing about? I swear to God, it's mad. But then it was more like, I think when I started doing like shoots and like fashion stuff, I felt like, because I probably started doing that like 2018.
Okay.
It was like they just like, even though like it was more like they didn't even like the skill set that I brought, sort of thing. So it was good for me because I learned like hairdressing and learned like other set and other ways to apply like the barbering craft in that environment. But it's like I feel like I've seen the industry slowly catch up with, in terms of like, it was, they still like, when I started working in fashion, they still had that whole like mentality that like, oh, haircuts look ghetto, or like we don't want it too sharp, like don't clean it up too much, like, you know,
These
you're
were
just
real
really,
comments.
like,
These are things that
not
you
like
would be, but
shit,
you
but
kind of
like
get
the
that
general
vibe.
impression that you pick up. And it's like, so there are times I'm going somewhere, I'm doing stuff, I'm jumping on stuff that like is not really my lane, because I'm obviously, that's what they do, like hairdressing, which is good for me learning. But then like my actual skill set is like, it was something that I found it hard to be able to use. And it's sort of, I had to kind of make a lane for it, but also as well, like the industry is like kind of expanded, and I think fashion realized it needs to be more inclusive. And then part of that also, there's just a lot more sort of like black and brown models nowadays, and a lot more brothers with trims, right? It's in the
Yeah, that's
public eye.
true.
So that was kind of created more work for me. At the same time, I felt like, to be honest, I'm grateful because it kind of taught me how to apply barbering in a different context. Whereas if I'd been able to just jump in and go do what I do, I don't think I maybe would have got the same understanding that I have now. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's all good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay. And so I know you've said you kind of expanded into fashion, entertainment, and shoots. What are some of the top highlights of your career so far? Top
All right,
three.
okay. Top three.
Yeah.
All right, I've got them ready. So the first one was doing a fashion show for Saul Nash with all my man them from the shop.
Okay.
And big up Rosie Grace, that's my hair code D, my work wife, all of that. And then yeah, me and her, we done a show with all the man them from the barbers. That was sick. Like having all the guys from the shop come and like cut hair on set with us, banging. The other one was probably signing with Left Side Creative, like the agency that I'm with now.
Okay.
They're just, I don't know. It was like I had another agency before. It was nice, but it didn't quite fit. And then it was just nice to meet them. And like, you know, when you just like minds, and it's like have someone in my corner, because I was for ages. So that was like a big thing for me, because it was nice to get support. And like, you know, like I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm here now. These people are on my side. So big up Left Side Creative. And also I got to work with one of my barber idols, which is Tarek Howes.
Okay.
I used to follow him on Instagram, like when I first started like cutting hair. And then like, I watched him on stage at some of these trade shows, and now we're like on the same agency and we work together and shit. So that was like a big moment for me.
Okay.
And then the third thing, doing the Holiday Club Youth Project, man. Super, super nice. Just like, it's like a youth project based in Lambeth, but they take kids from all over. And it's like a summer school where the kids basically operate and they make a magazine over like,
Okay.
so they do all departments like hair, styling, set design, production, creative. So they interviewed me and I did a workshop with them a couple of years ago. And then I was like, oh, let me help more. And so this year I was able to like help the course like expand a bit with Bisoya Babalola, who runs the course. She's sick. She's like the Suge Knight of the whole thing. But I just helped connect the course with actual mentors from fashion. So it's
Oh,
sick because
wow.
then we actually had people from fashion coming in. You know, like we even had the magazine's coming out end of October. Look out for it, Holiday Club. We got like, you know, people from fashion like Flag Twins, Gary Gill to come get interviewed by the kids, like mentors like Jake Hunt, myself. And then we're hooking them up with some work experience, you know, with like brands like
Wow.
Liberty Road, stuff like this after. So that is, it's still process of being finished. The magazine's coming out end of October. Look out for it. But we're already helping to put the kids in nice places, and they've said, you know, I'm mentoring one of them they've said that, you know, they've enjoyed the course and stuff like that. So that's my third highlight, because even though it's not fully complete yet, but it's just gas. It's just nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to try to give. I made bare mistakes, man. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like it'd be nice to give the younger people a bit of a smoother like leg up, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
And how many kids tend to go on the summer club? How many kids are participating?
I think this year's 25.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 25 of them still.
Okay, cool. Well, on that note, if there's any way I can help in any way with that, please let me know. If you need someone to volunteer or do something, I can perhaps do something around comms. Just putting it out there.
That would be great. Let's talk.
So let's connect about this. Yeah. I'm interested in helping.
Thank you.
So you're doing a lot. It's exciting. You're in fashion, sports, entertainment. These industries, whilst they appear, once the finished work, everyone sees the finished work, right? As a consumer, I see the finished work. I'm like, wow. But I know it takes a lot to get there. Can you share a project or a client you had to work with where you kind of had to problem solve really fast? Like it started where you thought there was going to be a disaster and then you fixed it.
Okay, yeah. Go on. Yeah. Actually, I've got a perfect story for this. Like, so I did like a cover for Days magazine. With, you know, the rapper Lancey Foe in it.
Mm-hmm.
Proper safe guy, actually, for real. Okay. But imagine I come to the job now, the braids come in, I'm picking my kit out. I forgot my gown, bro. I was like, oh, the braids here, he's sitting in the chair. I said, fuck, I'm done. This is how you know, I swear, someone's watching over me, man, because the brother, he was like, oh, bro, I don't even want a trim. Like, I'm like, yes. He was like, can you, he had locks, innit? He was like, can you cane roll my locks? So I haven't actually said this before, but I had to YouTube how to cane roll locks. Like, I went bathroom and just YouTube how to cane roll locks on a quick thing, and then come back and manage to bust it. And so, like, that's what you see on the cover. And yeah, pure got away with it, learned a new skill on the spot, totally got away with forgetting the gown. And I was like, if I'd had to cut hair, it would have been a mad thing, bruv. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And then it was cool because I managed to avoid doing that and then learn a new skill in the process. So it actually worked out pretty good for me. So that's
how long did you spend in the toilet? How long did you spend in the toilet to learn that? How long did you?
It was like a 10-minute video, but I was skipping. I spent like 5 minutes. I was like, let me just see the key handles and skip it. Yeah, it was techie still.
And there was like, there's no idea. He had no idea that you've learned that in the toilet. Like you've.
I mean,
he was not under any. He was not under any. There was no impression that you were leaving, that you didn't know what you're doing. He just, wow.
Well, that's stressful. If he didn't say in it. If he did, he didn't say.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. That's definitely a creative way to solve a problem. Shout out to YouTube. On the note of creativity, you work on such a range of projects, and with creatives, I know folks are sometimes like, how do you get there? How do you mentally get there? So like, where do you draw inspiration from for all your projects? And then how do you make sure you stay out of your own way to be able to like execute your ideas?
Where do I get the inspiration from my projects? I don't know. I'm quite reactive in it as like a person in general. So it's like things just come to me, or it's like I just try and, I guess what I've tried to learn to do is just like entertain the first thought that comes into your head and like follow that thread. But obviously, like reference wise, I love putting like old school barbershop styles and shoots. You know what I mean? And it's great because there's so much references now coming from like the late 90s, early 2000s. And it's like, that was like a really dope era for barbering. Plus like the man them that I work with at the shop, that's like their heyday. So they've got all the styles and I found this album of haircuts, all pattern haircuts they did from the 90s with all these patterns and stuff like that. So like try to use stuff like that. There's a dope page, Inheritance, on Insta, where it's like pre-colonial styles, like hairstyles from like Africa and Asia. Those references are quite sick. But yeah, I mostly just wing it, innit? Just like whatever, just try and go with whatever pops up first. In terms of staying out my way, just try to hold the anxiety till after the job's finished. Like that's really mainly it, innit? Like, and then you can freak out after it's done. Like,
okay, cool. And so hairstyling, I'm excited. I'm excited about the future of the industry. Obviously, this podcast, Celebraids and Coils Clash and Culture, we're focused on textured hair specifically. What are you excited about for the future of hairstyling, whether it's barbering or the industry at large, and textured hair industry particularly?
Okay. Yeah. It's gonna sound a bit, but honestly, I'm just like, for me, everything is just about like creating opportunity and general wealth within our own community. And what's nice to see is that, like, kind of in the same way that music is becoming a lane for that, I feel like fashion as well is becoming an industry that we're starting to monopolize and to be able to create a lane to create generational wealth for our community. And that's what it's really all about, man. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Let's just get black people paid, innit? Like, do you know, it's just nice to see fashion becoming like a means
inclusive
for that end. Yeah, exactly. Like, so that's mainly it, really. Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay. And final question. Any advice for anyone looking to get into barbering or chopping up someone's head right now and messing it up? Any advice for them?
Don't start with the zero. And great job, best job in the world if you love people. If you don't love people, it will get to you, I think. Try fall in love with the craft and the money will come. That's just general advice though, right? And then long hours, but sick job. Like, best, honestly, so happy I do my job. Like, wouldn't ever do anything else, but the hours are a bit mad still. Like,
okay, when you say a bit mad, do you mean long hours or just like random hours? What should people expect?
Long hours and unsociable. So when other people are off, that's when you want to be working. So like weekends and late nights. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, anyway, with the type of stuff that I do, and then you might have early mornings. It's just a big time commitment. You're gonna work 6 days. Whenever I see my friends, I've always been at the shop for like 10, 12 hours before I've been on a shoot, or like getting like a day off is like, the more, because it's like with a business, it's like, and even on my days off, I'm still like, oh, should I be doing something? You know? Yeah. So, and I like to party, so it's like it's been a hard choice because obviously as the business is getting more and more responsibilities, I've had to cut down on my partying, and that's something I love. But it's, you know, it's like, it's good, but it's like you have to make hard decisions because it's like if you're self-employed or whatever, like, it's all on you. And because it's a client-based business, you're not always on your own time. And obviously things snowball and they spiral in terms of busyness. And you just have to be ready to like make, I guess, the personal sacrifices to like accommodate for that.
Okay. And I know I said that was my last question, but it's not. Because I have one more question, which is, I need to know. Which fashion brand or designer have you not worked with yet that you would love to collaborate with? And is there any client or personality or person that you would love to do their hair if you had the opportunity?
Brand, I did one thing with Wavy Garms for like Nike TN years ago, but I've never had another Nike job since. And like, obviously I'm a London youth, innit? Like, I love Nike. Like, so I would just like to work for Nike. Like, it's just like my favorite band. And then the other, what was the other bit about person?
Just if there's a client, a person, a notable figure that you're like, actually, let me come sort you out.
I'm trying to think, you know, it's kind of mad, but nothing springs to mind. Like, I kind of, that was kind of Frank Ocean for me, and I've kind of done his hair a few times, so it's like, I'm equal opportunity now, innit? Like, anyone can get it. Like,
cool. So we're good. Nike's gonna call you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm gonna see something and be like, you've done it. It's gonna come.
Sick. Thank you. I appreciate that still.
But thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate the conversation. And for anyone listening, no, actually not for anyone listening, because my sister always tells me stop saying that. For people listening and for people watching potentially, where can they find you?
So Find me at Mo Better Cuts, 314 Labbert Grove, W105NQ, and on my Instagram at that Barber Nat.
Well, thank you for having this conversation with me.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.